Hey guys, it's me.
What's up? It's him. It's us. I'm Michael, and this is
Isaiah.
and
What the
we're. No, I'm just
Like,
playing.
I was like,
fusion?
you guys fuse together and make me.
Hey, that
crazy.
would be the most lit shit.
That'd be so like, hey guys,
We just
I'm both of them now.
Anyways, welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Black Atlas Radio show. I don't know why I said it like that, but it's been a while, I guess. Since
It's
our
actually not
last
to
interview.
them.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I'm just
Never
gonna shut up.
mind.
Ignore me. Anyways, so we're here with a very special guest, representing the 707. You know how it is out here. Anyways, you go ahead and introduce yourself to this bottom camera.
On Instagram they call me Distinguished Jason, but you can just call me Jason. I'm a regular guy, nice guy, like long walks to the bank, and yeah.
ooh,
Okay.
that's what you need to know to the bank.
Now, where did you get the name Jason from?
My mom, July 17th, 1990.
Oh, wait. Are you Cancer?
Yes.
Oh, shit. We out
Tears.
here.
Oh,
Cancer
tear
gang.
gang.
Yeah, bro.
I cry about everything. It's okay.
Every time he does this, I'm gonna be Gemini gang over here
Oh, that's-
alone.
fuck out.
There's like
Bro.
8 of you.
Alone. Hated.
8 of you and one
Hated
person.
and alone.
Whatever,
Geminis,
man.
I fuck with Geminis though. At least I don't know any Gemini guys, but Gemini girls are tight. I fuck with them. They're cool.
They some bitches.
So, anyways,
That works
we're,
too.
yeah, we're here to discuss you and what you do, which is specifically you make clothing. I don't know if you actually make clothing, but you came up with a clothing brand.
Yes.
And I don't know if you want to go into a little bit more detail and talk about that.
No, it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. No.
So what is it called first?
So the
first of all?
brand is Distinguished Minds. That's how I got the distinguished in front of my name. Prior to that, on my IG, it was just same old Jason. I'm telling you, I'm just regular as hell. But yeah, I developed the company when I was like 17 years old. Side note, I was playing baseball, played a little bit of college baseball. Dad passed away. Stopped playing baseball to like help my family out. Was working at the Echo in the back of outlets for mad long. I'm sure hella people know me from there.
Echo, what is that?
Like the
Oh,
old
Echo-
streetwear company.
Echo
that-
Unlimited?
Yeah, that's what. You don't
Oh,
remember that
yeah.
store
no,
being
I
there?
do remember. I thought you
Yeah.
meant Echo, like, Echo!
No,
Echo!
No, Echo Unlimited, like the fucking,
yeah.
the fucking Rhino.
And
It's hilarious when people try to bring that
Bro,
back.
is it
I'm
still
not gonna-
around?
Yeah, and
kinda,
Macy's
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's still
for
funny.
like little kids.
So
maybe?
they filed bankruptcy, but they still like
Have
sell
stuff
it.
out.
Oh,
They still
okay.
sell it.
Well, they still sell it like their few accounts. I think
Oh,
Macy's and
yeah.
in Canada,
God
which is
damn.
hella weird. But yeah, so I ran that store, and in the meantime, I was learning how to like design and create brands. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Filthy Drip, but I interned there for like a year and a half. You guys remember that brand? Filthy
No.
Drip? So it was like before Pink Dolphin. There was a brand called Filthy Drip. And
Okay.
Filthy Drip was like the Bay Area hub for streetwear. It was me. It was a brand called Live Good. It was Pink Dolphin, which was like light years ahead of us already, to be honest. But all these people were in this hub developing their brand. Who else was there? There's a few other brands too. But the two guys there was Lloyd, also known as Nodix, and Daniel. And they taught me how to graphic design, how to kind of like run a store and create things. Granted, I was still mad young. I was like 17, 18. So I was still
damn.
going to school, trying to play college baseball, trying to work and help out my family, do all this shit. So I kind of fell out like being over there as much. But yeah, I just want to shout them out because they taught me a lot of what I know, whatever. But yeah, so the brand moved on, and over the years we've just been creating fire stuff, developing, getting the
Nice.
stuff in front of the right people.
What was the first brand you seen that like made you want to design clothing? Like, when did you know that that's something you wanted to do, or has that always been in you?
He's like
That's a good
Echo
question.
Unlimited.
No, fuck no.
Fuck no.
Actually,
Oh God.
no. By the way, no. But no, I think it was like Huff, Benny
right.
Gold. I wasn't really crazy industry wear. Like I wore more like the hip hop streetwear early on, which was like the
Rockaware.
Rockaware and
The one I used to always fucking wear. The
Diamond?
black.
South
No, I don't wear
Pole,
diamond.
all them things.
Yeah,
So that was like the mid to late 90s.
LRG.
How old are you guys?
LRG.
LRG. Hell, LRG.
We're 22. We're about to be 22.
Okay, so you guys, I'm a little bit older than you guys, so those
Yeah.
brands were a little bit more prevalent in like the
LRG. I rocked LRG every
So,
fucking day of my life.
LRG was
bro.
When we were in high school, it was fucking the war between Holly Gang and Aeropostale, bro. That shit,
You were broke if you had Aeropostale,
Hey,
but I had
I had a
that shit.
Hollister hoodie.
bro. I had no Hollister until like sophomore
Bro,
year.
my dad. He's the manager at Macy's, so I
Oh,
would
okay.
just
Isaiah had the everyday
I would just-
drip.
I was fed just food, just clothes every day.
This guy's
And so-
blessed.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
I wasn't. I was not rocking it to the best of my ability.
I was like the weirdo who
had
wore
it,
the
though.
same hoodie like every
Right.
week.
You know what? That shit don't even matter because
What you want?
I tell people all the time, high school is just that phase where you're learning yourself. And then
Definitely.
you never know which motherfucker in that place is going to end up being somebody's boss or rich or held together. And look where we're at. You got a fucking show here, and there's other people that probably had all the nicest shit.
Losers,
Ain't doing a
nah,
damn
just
thing.
like,
Ha! Fucking loser.
Fucking loser.
I'm just kidding. Please share our shit. Be nice.
We need you
Share it.
losers sometimes.
Put my face all over the internet. Hold me down.
Please. But yeah, I was rocking LRG every day. So,
LRG was a dope brand.
But Huff was I feel like Huff fell off.
That's
It's
the weed brand,
Yeah.
right?
It's the one that
So
did the
it's
Huff
the
stuff.
leaf?
That's where they
So
popped off. That's
when
why I
they
feel
popped,
like popped
yeah.
off because the
So
Huff
before
socks.
they were a skate brand,
Yeah.
and then Benny Gold, and you had Diamond, and you had Black Scale. All these brands
Yeah.
were coming up at the same time. Black Scale was probably the first brand that I seen where I was like, okay, they're doing something completely
Mm-hmm.
different. But how I got in the street, where I wasn't really into it, I was playing baseball, and all the kids on my team that were super rich were pulling up with all the Diamond and all that stuff.
Damn.
And I was still wearing just like the regular street brands and my Air Force Ones and living life. But I was sitting in class actually in high school, and my history teacher was like, he was breaking down just like all these people that had done all these amazing things. So he was naming people like Dr. King and all these different stuff, right? So he kept calling them distinguished.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it's got to be some type of important word. So I raised my hand and I'm like, hey, what does that word mean? And at the time, that's how you know I'm old. He was like, look it up in a dictionary. And Google was just starting to like really pop off for
Before
like,
people
kids
were,
to know
like,
how to use
saying,
it, right?
yeah,
So I'm like,
okay.
went home, Googled it, learned about it, and it means to be like authoritative, to be an important figure, to make a difference in the world, and to be completely different from the people around you. And the way I approach style is I started to actually be able to afford Huff and Diamond and stuff. Was like,
Okay.
I like it, but I don't like looking like nobody else. So like I always try to buy something unique, or what people today call like a staple piece in your clothes. So this is not a flex, by the way. It's just to prove my point of what a staple piece is. I got on Travis Scott ones, but then everything else is just like regular.
Okay, yeah.
So you let a piece stand out and
so-
create the outfit off of it.
Exactly. I know what you mean. So like something
Like
so,
a rolly.
like a rolly,
Right,
or like a
right,
rolly,
right.
or like something that it's hard to get,
Right.
or like this is my favorite piece that I know it's gonna stand out.
Right. So like you got kids who wear like Supreme, right? And they put on a box logo.
I don't stand
But
out.
then
you
you
guys,
got
you guys see those stupid ass videos of those kids showing like the price of their outfit, like
Yeah.
100, like
That
$50.
that was a little too
that
much.
shit is so weird.
They just copied Drake because Drake did it, and I'm like, why are you copying Drake? Drake has way more money than
He
any
won.
of you will ever
Like,
have.
I know. Why compete?
But
There be kids who have an outfit put together and it's worth more than like a car, and I'm like,
I'm just
that's not even smart.
and you don't
should've
have a
bought-
car.
should've bought the fucking car. Exactly.
And you don't
Buy
have
the
a car.
Like, buy the car, kiddo. Like,
I know a nigga who has a chain that's hella expensive and don't got no car.
Ha!
You know who you are, kid.
Ha!
We want you to get a car. Get a car.
Get the
Get
car.
a car.
That's,
Fuck this.
That's good advice. Get the car.
Man.
It's worth more. You can trade it in.
Go
at
for
some
the car.
point. You can go make money to buy the chain because you have the car to get to the money.
Basically.
Stay woke.
So you came up with this idea based off of that situation. When did you really start making moves as to like legitimizing it as a business?
That's a great fucking question because a long road of it was just like, so I drew in high school. Like as a kid, I learned to draw really well. Weirdly, I was born left-handed and I'm right. Anyways, so I learned to draw. And a kid had told me like you should put stuff on clothes.
Right.
And at the time, it was like this big era of like actually just drawing on your own shit with like, I don't know if you're familiar with puff paint.
Yeah.
Some of those little tubes.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. I remember that
So
shit.
I had did like maybe like 10 graduation tees for kids, and I charged $25. So I realized there was like something there.
At that point, you at that early, like what, like 17, 18,
17.
$25.
Yep.
That should go a long way.
Yep.
Yeah,
That should
man.
go a long way. Cool.
So
Let me resend these.
I'm gonna have to record us having that CD in there. But and then after making the graduation tees, what came next then?
nothing. So I went to try to play college baseball down in
Right.
San Diego. Didn't think twice about it, and ended up coming back home, going to Solano, and around that time, I took my first financial aid check and I printed these sweaters. And the hard part was like trying to learn how to get the design right, where to get them printed, and all the shit, right? That actually you should know before you should even try, by the way.
Right.
That's a gym for you kids. Don't even try until you know where and how to. But I got hooked up with a friend who worked at the Boys and Girls Club. He told me to print through this guy in San Francisco. And I spent, I think, $1,500 on 100 hoodies, which is way overpriced.
God.
And
Damn.
the print came back incorrectly. So I had 100 hoodies that were worth nothing to me, and I basically gave them away to homeless people all over the place. But it was in Vacaville, so it popped off this big thing where people knew I did it, and they knew the design because I was like pushing it until I got it back. So people started seeing it everywhere. I was just giving it away to kids and dancers. Speaking of I gave some away to that human there that's up there hanging on the side.
Scorpion, Dance Me's.
Oh,
Just go check out the
you
video.
said dance me's.
Dance Me's, Dance
He
MCs,
said dance me.
Dance Me's. I'm
the same
I'm
thing.
terrible.
It's the
It's
same
all
thing.
good.
Cool.
Shout out Scorpion.
But yeah, so that's actually how I met him, and I met a whole bunch of people, and I just was like pushing my issue with something I hated.
Oh, okay.
So it was like this weird dynamic because people was like messing with me just on the sheer passion, but the product was horrible.
Uh-huh.
And then as I slowly went over the next 3 to 5 years, the product got better and better and better and better. But literally only over the past 2 years has it been like a business and it operates correctly and the product's where I want it to be and it's shot well in terms of like the photography and the production and everything. And I just think like when you're trying to build a business, it takes time, you know what I mean? Especially when you're self-taught and you're trying to learn. You got to learn how to make the product correctly, how to market the product correctly, and then even if you do that, you still might not win. So then it's also like learning how to make people receive you correctly too. So
Right.
it's been a ride.
So basically, there was just years,
Hell yeah.
a point in time where it was just years before things actually popped off.
Yeah, I mean, it's a patience game. I think in anything you do, music, whatever, you can go. You know, they say waited 10 years to become an overnight celebrity type thing.
Yeah.
That's real shit with everybody. Like you're not gonna do it today and be rich tomorrow. It's gonna
Right.
Take some time.
Except
Now,
if you're a little pump.
I'm pretty sure he has somebody behind him that probably went through all the fuck shit for him and just put him in place.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's probably somebody.
Somebody
for
he's like if someone popped off like started today, popped off tomorrow, it's because they're either only making 10% of their money, give or take, because everybody else is doing all the work for them.
Yeah.
him. Blueface, goddamn, that nigga getting robbed.
Yeah, poor guy.
Ah, God. Hey, fucking don't know shit about his contract ass, motherfucker.
Man, it's tough, but sometimes that's okay. Like if you just want to eat, pay your bills.
How did
I don't
feel?
hate it.
How did it feel to know that you own and like you created something that other people care about now? Like, what does that feeling mean to you? And when did you like first feel that?
Some days it's just hella responsibility because, like, you know, in like the fashion industry, you're supposed to put out 4 collections a year, and it's expensive because you pay for everything up front and you try to recoup. Other days it's like the best feeling in the world. Like a kid may walk up to you in the mall or
Right.
watching people actually wear what you made or something of that sort. It's like it's kind of special because it has a dope message to tell people to like distinguish yourself from the rest. It doesn't click immediately, but when it does, you know you're like teaching people to just genuinely be themselves, and that's kind of important, not for me, but for the people who actually get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like it's a lot of tough times out here for I guess kids and adults alike. Like the internet has shifted people's thought process. They're struggling with like depression and stuff like that because the way people see them. So I'm just constantly trying to push people just be yourself, stay positive. Like your time's gonna come. enjoy the people around you. That's why I told you guys straight up. You guys been best friends for 15 years. That shit is dope as hell. But it's dope. It's dope to like to be able to like put something in the world that you believe in and people take to it.
Yeah, I bet. That sounds like an amazing feeling. Is there like a specific way you choose to do your shoots? Like, do you already have like an idea in mind when you like pick the clothing, or is it kind of just like more of a promotion for like the outfit?
For the most part, it definitely has like a reasoning to it. There's sometimes where like people may have sent me shoots that they've done just like for me, and I'll just share it because it's dope. But in most cases, it's based on the season, the feeling of the collection. So this last one we shot in like a parking garage, and we also shot it around Concord, and we were looking for like 70s styled homes.
Oh, nice.
Because I've been having this weird like love for like actual film photography lately, and the way it feels like super vintage. So we've been just trying to like recreate the moods that basically damn near my parents lived through. Just kind of like very 70s and grainy looking images, and I don't know, the 70s doesn't look like they really did anything crazy or important.
No, it looks like
but
they
it
kinda
looks
just
hella
fucking-
vibey though.
There you go. There you
But
go.
it looks like a vibe, so like we were kind of playing with that, and I don't know, like in terms of like the product, it didn't necessarily match, but it was a story I wanted to tell, and I'll probably tell it over the next few collections in terms of that that very vintage feel to bring out like that, I guess like the natural streetwear vibe. Because if you look at like early 90s photos and mid to late 80s and 70s, again, they don't look like they did anything special, but you could tell they're in their natural habitat or whatever, and that's what I think is important for streetwear.
Did you do you have names for your collections?
Yeah.
what
This
was
collection
this one?
actually wasn't even named. It was heavily branded, so we literally just called it the Distinguish Yourself from the Rest collection, because everything. Actually, I want one of these. It was branded with just the branding of the streetwear, and it like heavily talks like true to the brand. Goal with it was to like really push the brand ethos into people's brains, because before it was like a lot of just art on shirts, which pops off, but like when people see it, they go, "Oh, who made that?" Or maybe they just see it and go, "That's dope," and they look it up online, but you'll never find it.
Yeah.
So we were trying to like bring people in and actually tell the story of the company and its origin, and like every email that went out was based on like the origin of the company and how it arrived to where we are today and what the goal is with it. So we kept it very clean, but there's gonna be some heavily fashion stuff popping off over the next collection or so.
How do you come up with your designs? Like, actually, like, do you see them in your mind before you like try to like, I don't know, if you like open up Photoshop and try to design it on there, but like, is it something you already see beforehand?
Yeah, I mean, I try to tell stories of either things I've been through or things that I see people kind of like living through, and then also try to keep it on trend with what's fashionable.
Okay.
So for example, I did a collection a couple of years ago. I actually didn't put these pieces out, and I think I might, so it's interesting. But I don't know if you guys have ever read a book called like the 48 Laws of Power.
I've heard that book
of it.
mentioned multiple times.
Yeah.
So I did like a couple of the laws in there. I did designs on them. And it was because at the time it felt like such a shift in understanding of like how to just kind of create and control like your own thought process and just like audiences or whatever. So I did a couple of pieces on it because I'm like, this would be significant for maybe other people to learn, and maybe people can go read the book, right? So like anything I do is to shift culture in a different direction, right? Because like I can go make like the same hoodies everybody else, or the same t-shirt, or the sweats that look exactly like somebody else's, just with my branding. But the goal is like, I've always looked at Kanye West because he like disrupts culture and then takes you in this direction, and it splits the world in half because half the people fucking love it and the other half hate it, and that's how you. To me, that's how you know you did something right. If everyone loves it, someone's talking shit about you behind your back. If everyone hates it, someone secretly loves it but don't want to direct everybody to hate them too, right?
Shout out to the God himself.
Don't say that. Shout out to Shantae. I'm sorry. You're probably not gonna watch this, but
That's a Kanye fan?
No, he's not a Kanye fan. He boycotted. But I'm a huge. We're both pretty big fucking Kanye
Oh,
fans.
thank Jesus. Stay woke.
Man.
that.
Let me start the cameras. real
Kanye's
quick.
an interesting character.
I love that man. He's one of the people I look up to. So
So how do you guys actually feel about Kanye wearing the MAGA hat?
He's stupid.
I feel like he's a contrarian in regards to that on purpose, and it's a force type thing. And honestly, he's probably doing it to piss people off.
Yeah, but there's really no excuse.
On top of like his own. If you want to go political with this, if you're rich as fuck like him, I'd go for Donald Trump.
You save your money.
That's fucking
Right.
trash to say.
Yeah.
It's trash as fuck to say. But I would go for Donald Trump if I'm that fucking rich. I'm in a tax bracket to where I don't get taxed because he's making laws, so I don't get taxed. But that guy's a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
No, he's a piece of garbage human. And Kanye's supposed to be for the people, like he's always has been. But this is a step in direction to be not.
Are we saying Kanye has always been for the people?
For the most part. He's been everybody's person. He's like, Kanye got us, yeah.
But
He said fuck George Bush on national. He said
he
George
said
Bush doesn't
George
care
Bush
about
is
black
Yeah, I
people.
feel like Snoop is like for the people.
But Snoop is too accessible at this point.
I feel like T.I. is for the people.
I don't give a fuck about T.I.
I don't know about
anymore.
T.I.
Man.
That's fake news.
What?
T.I. T.I. used too many big words
the king-
from a nigga from Atlanta.
Like,
Give a fuck about
He's
ATL.
lying somehow.
Don't make ATL 2, please, T.I.
bro,
God
we're not gonna talk
damn.
about T.I.
I'm sorry.
I'll take an ATL too.
I don't want it. I don't. The snatching the chain off the girl. that means still
Give me
get
my necklace
that means still fucking get me.
That's one
That's
of
just
that's one of the
legendary.
greatest scenes.
It is a legendary
movies. Period.
I mean, it was. But go back to Kanye. I feel like he does that shit on purpose. But at the same time, it makes sense if you were him.
Inexcusable.
I think there's like this weird balancing of shit, right? Because like again, Donald Trump is a Republican, and everybody who's in that tax bracket, whether they like it or not, they're Republican because if you own a business, you get a fat ass tax break, and most people don't know that because they don't own a business. It just is what it is. So business owners and corporation owners, they get this fat ass tax break, and pretty much say I was Apple and you worked at Apple, I pay you cash, they give me all that back at the top of the year. Pretty much, that's kind of how it works, and that's keeping it simple.
Trash.
Somebody out there is gonna be like, that's not how it works, but in the simplest form for people who don't own businesses, that's kind of how it works. But so you got that, right? So you're naturally attracted to the Republican Party, but then you got a guy who's like polarizing, just like Kanye West. So they're gonna disrupt media. So throughout that whole bracket, this man sold hella shoes because that's free media coverage the entire time. So I mean, it's some fuck shit. Let's not even.
It's not
even.
You
play
don't
it,
have
but
black people on your side anymore, but you're still selling shit to black people.
It's strategy.
That's how you
That's
get 'em.
fucked up,
It
man.
becomes strategy that's above the culture. 'Cause
And now we take them back because all the church shit.
Exactly. And that's strategy too. And Kanye is going to drop probably the most fire hip hop album, and then we're really going to take him back. And it's not going to say nothing about Jesus.
I feel the same exact way as you, and it sucks because it's not like we're getting played. But honestly, I've been on the same side as Kanye. I haven't boycotted Kanye West. I'm just like, the Donald Trump shit's fucked up. I understand where it's coming from, but it's still fucked up, and he shouldn't fuck with him at all.
Yeah.
But honestly, he could have done it the way his wife did it, which was Kim Kardashian used Donald Trump to get all these black people out of jail, which is crazy. And the best way to do things.
It's hella wet. Get out of here. Get out of here. Arlo, go.
Yeah, I think there's so much balance, and it's media period is fuck shit. So just be careful what you consume and how much you let that shit play with your emotions. Cause
that's the biggest thing. I feel like people need to stop letting people on the fucking internet tell them how to live their life.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I mean?
entertainment, bro. Like you gotta be careful.
Right.
It's
Learn
like
to shut that shit off.
it's like assuming the WWF or E, depending on how
It's
old you
real.
are, is real. It is not. If I can turn on the camera and decide how you feel, I'm in control.
Damn. That's how you put it there.
I've been manipulating everybody watching this video since we started.
I'm trying to tell you, these two dudes fused together and made me.
Since the first time you watched a Black Atlas video,
We've
we've had you in our fucking pockets.
Right. There was like a millisecond of a frame that hypnotized you.
We got your asses.
And now,
Perfectly.
and now you're all Kanye West fans. Thank you. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
That's how you do it. Was there any designers like Kanye or like other people that have have had a effect on like you said, like your clothing brand and everything like that? Like,
Hell yeah.
like I know off the top of the head, fucking Virgil, the biggest one in the world at the moment, I believe.
Yeah.
Biggest one upcoming, like grossing in the world.
Yeah, he's number one gross in
Like-
fashion houses right now.
But I'm like, I can't even afford that.
Hell no, I can't afford that.
So
but
how-
if I save up my pennies,
Your
Okay.
pennies, this guy.
All right, so the trick before we get into that, so there's a trick to like finessing the high fashion market. I'm gonna give you guys all the game here.
oh,
Buy the accessories.
okay,
So it's called like cost of entry. So like the way fashion companies build their price points is like you have your legacy customer, which is probably rich as fuck. They spend over like $100,000 with that company. Then you can go all the way down to your entry level customer, and they maybe spend like 1,000 or 300, depending on the brand, right? So if you buy, let's just say Off-White, you can buy an Off-White belt for $225, get the same clout that you'll get for the Off-White shoes, because people are like, oh, it's Off-White. It's brand identity. That's why like when you see a person in Nike socks, you're like, okay, they don't got the forces, but they know.
but they
looking-
with the shit they with the shit a
They're
little
looking
bit.
kind of ugly.
He
like-
might hoop or something, you know.
He might do something. Okay,
just a little
is there
balance.
anybody other than Virgil that's
So Virgil wasn't a big hit. It didn't have a big impact on me.
Okay.
In that group, there was someone that was way before Virgil, and it's Taz Arnold. That's his name. He made. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tisa back in the day. So
that sounds hella familiar?
he took vintage, like he's the reason why like the snapback era happened. So he put together like vintage snapbacks and like vintage MCM jackets and stuff like that. When
Okay.
nobody was looking for it, he was thrifting, and he took all this stuff and he just wrote his logo on it. So it just said like Tisa on the hats right here, and on the back over the shoulders it said Tisa. But he took like a maybe like a $10 for him if he's thrifting, maybe like a $3 hat, and was charging like $60 for it.
Damn.
So
Finesse.
so that was dope to me. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the brand Kith,
Yeah,
Ronnie Feig.
yeah.
That dude is probably one of the more influential guys to me because he is from Brooklyn. You know, he comes from working in the industry. Like, he made the Asics collab early on. I worked at Asics. And then he took all that and developed, like, a huge company that's pretty much worldwide at this point. And that's kind of the dream, if you think about it. And he's done it without, like, the buffoonery. Like, he's handled it like a businessman the whole way through, and he's put out some of the dopest collections. But early on, again, like, you got Nick Diamond, you got Mega of Black Scale, the guys at Filthy Drip, like, those are all Bay Area brands that you've seen firsthand,
Shit.
and they're fire. Like, they've done amazing things.
Is there any brands that you have from the Bay Area that you rock, or any?
I rock everything. If anyone I just posted yesterday, like, I love local brands more than anything because I get the industry. Like, you're not gonna really help a brand that's already on get any further on.
Right.
You're just gonna pay their bills at that point, which is cool. I wear heat, but at the same time, it's like I like to balance that and shoot in other people's stuff and give them an opportunity to get the look and talk to them about just kind of like how to get to the next level.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because there are.
That's a smart way of thinking about it.
Yeah. And I mean, if you want me to invest, I'll take some percents and help you blow it up.
There you go.
I'm not rich though.
That's-
I'm not. I'm not.
Like,
I'm not rich.
hold on,
Let's
hold
not talk
on.
about like. But like, I'll.
Hey, as long as you're helping the person under you get to where you're at,
Hell yeah.
that's how you do it.
I mean, I think a lot of people forget like there's trillions and trillions of dollars in the world, and because of where we're from is so fucking tiny. Like, people are like, oh, his stuff's popping, that means I'm not going to. And it's like, no.
Yeah. You just automatically start to bag on that person because you're not doing anything.
It's easy to think, right? Like, if I work full-time, I make like $3,000 a month, I can buy your $25 t-shirt and your $25 t-shirt and still be okay.
Yeah.
So it's better to like work together and try to learn who those customers are and become friends with them rather than be like, oh, buy my shirt, that dude's trash. It's like, no, dude, like, push that shit and everybody eat. Just
People
work
are
together.
selfish, though.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's the thing. Everybody wants to be better than the next person. They don't want to equally be pushed.
Yeah, I think people
They
just
want to be
wanna-
number one.
That's true. That's worth competing for. I respect that.
Let's do friendly competition. How about that, guys?
Well, I mean,
Let's make it friendly.
that happens other places, not here, though.
Let's make it friendly. Let's.
They're not
Hey
gonna
man.
listen to us.
Hey man. I like your brand, but mine's is better than yours. I'll still buy it though. Like, I'll still buy your shit though. You buy my shit.
That was a fade waiting to happen. Everybody love each other.
Buy each other's shit.
Hell yeah.
Where can people find your shit? We didn't even. What's the website?
www.distinguishedminds.com. But when I went to file on my business licenses, I couldn't get the E, so it's distinguished without an E. I have to tell people that all the time.
Oh,
And it looks aesthetically better that way, but it's depressing
Where's
when
the
you sing.
ego?
It's an apostrophe D. Where is it at? Oh, it's not even on there. Right there. Apostrophe D. So like distinguished.
Oh.
Yeah, I hate that.
I was looking
good stuff, man.
But here's the thing though, like right, like in the mid 2000s, so I graduated in 08. So from like then to 2011, all streetwear brands was spelling shit wrong.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We were all putting like the teddy bears and like the artsy stuff on it. When that died, for me to shift to the next level and explain
Okay.
people that I misspelled it, it took a lot of fucking effort in rebranding. So we went from like these big bold art pieces on shirts to just put your logo across the chest and it's worth $120. So
Yeah.
different ball game, but you gotta adjust. This is what it is, I guess.
Well, at least you're smart enough to know how to adjust and not.
Shit, I had to learn.
Evolve
Yeah.
or die.
Right.
God damn.
Started your own way.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Is there something new coming soon? Wait, you just put the collection out?
Yeah, so we put the collection out in end of February, early March. It did actually way better than we anticipated. It was like the first collection we did in like a year and a half, and that year and a half was spent learning how to rebrand and to approach
Nice.
like 18-year-old kids of today, which mostly thrift and buy like brands like Off-White, Supreme, or whatever. So it's finding that balance of like, okay, well, how do you introduce that kid to what would be to them a new company? So we studied and traveled and went to New York and went to LA and went to Seattle and Texas and all these places to kind of figure it out. And then we dropped the collection, and I still was kind of like, no. I'm still in the Bay Area. It's not going to connect. But it did, and we did pretty decent numbers. Again, it was driven to be simple, so it was mostly a hoodie collection just to kind of like keep the price at a cost of entry and hats. But then the next collection is, I don't want to say the date because I don't want to date it because we're still working on it. But it's going to be a little bit more summer driven with more staple
Coming
pieces.
soon.
That's how you keep it. That's how you keep it under wraps, right there.
Hell yeah.
That was
Cool.
shit.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
And make sure you guys go check. We gave the website, right? We just went through that.
You gave the website.
www.distinguishedminds.com. No E.
No E.
Check that shit out. Go cop you a hoodie
Check.
and a hat.
Go cop both. That shit
the
look
combo.
nice. Get the combo.
And
You
then
should.
go copy you some fucking Travis Scott's. Nah.
I don't even know how to get this shoe off my foot right now.
Go cop them.
Spend a lot of money on clothes. And then you won't get bullied. That's how it works.
And then you won't get bullied.
Don't
No, you're
bully
probably-
kids who don't have money to buy clothes. That's wrong.
Word, because I haven't always had money to buy
Me
clothes.
either. I just had clothes because my dad worked.
Well,
I didn't
know
have
that
the
works the
brand.
Right.
I was a kid rocking LRG till like fucking till high school every day just because
Hey,
that
that's
shit
a
worked.
win.
I know.
That's
So let's just put out there.
I was like, wait.
He wasn't
It
fresh as
doesn't-
fuck every
I
day.
wasn't.
doesn't
fresh.
sound the
I used
same.
to rock fucking skater shoes.
okay.
Leave me alone. Leave that
alone.
child alone.
Anyways,
For real.
Before we close out this interview, is there anything you would like to say to the people? You could throw your ads out there one more time if you want.
You can follow me. It's at Distinguished Jason or Distinguished_Jason, no E, and then at Distinguished_Minds, no E. And make sure you guys watch this entire video. I dropped some gems. They dropped some gems.
We appreciate you.
Kanye's the GOAT, and
Yeah.
they're doing an amazing thing here. So I really appreciate you guys for having me.
Hey,
first and
thanks,
foremost.
man.
Appreciate it.
And you guys, if you do anything talented, this is where you need to come sit.
Shout out to Fairfield. Shout out to
For real.
fucking the fields.
The fields and everywhere surrounding.
The filthy fields, as some might say.
The filthiest.
That's like what Fern says back in his day.
Oh my
Filthy
god,
fields.
the filthiest.
Anyways, thanks again, guys.
Check out
Yes.
blackatlasmedia.com.
Check out blackatlasmedia.com. Check out our podcast, which, if you're listening through our podcast, thanks for listening. Rate us 5 stars and tell a friend.
Rate 'em
It's called
6 stars.
Off Topic. by the way.
Yeah, but I also just put the regular.
Yeah, that too.
But I get what you're saying though. Never
The end
mind.
of the interview.
Bye.
We're not
Share this
professionals.
everywhere.